Hello students. So in the previous classes we have studied about the different types of mixture, as well as we discussed that how the mixtures are classified, and basically there are the two different type of a mixture, including that of the homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. We studied that how homogeneous mixture is different from that of the heterogeneous mixture, as well as with the help of the iron and sulfur we studied that what are the different properties of the mixtures, including that how mixtures are can be separated by the physical method, as well as that how this mixture, which is having the different components, they show their individual properties, or how they are heterogeneous in nature, okay, due to the non-uniform composition of the components. Okay, right now we will start with the next topic, and that is compound. So compound is what? It is a pure substance which is composed of two or more elements. So when we are saying it is a pure substance, you know that while when we are classifying that of the pure to that of the impure substance, element and compound, we added both of them in the pure substance category, while that of the mixture was categorized as an impure substance. Okay, so these compounds are considered to be pure substance, and these pure substances are basically formed of when two or more elements when they combine together. So we can say that when two or more elements when they chemically combine together, they form a compound. Okay. So in a compound, when atom of a two or more element they join together, and whenever they join together they combine in a fixed proportion by mass. This is very important, that when the two or more atom of the element they combine to form the compound, they always combine with the fixed proportion by mass. For example, although there are a lot of examples of a compound like that of the NaCl, water, sugar, carbon dioxide, these all are the example of a compound. And you see in all these compound, the elements which is present in any of the compound, all the element in a particular compound, they combine together with each other to form that particular compound in a fixed ratio by mass. We can understand with the help of this that if we are talking about H2O, so H2O we are saying it is a compound. Okay, so how this is different from that of the mixture, that here also two elements they combine together. One is hydrogen and the another one is oxygen. Atomic mass of the hydrogen is 1 here, and atomic mass of oxygen is 16 here. Okay, so here how many atom of hydrogen is present in water molecule? That is 2. So here the total atomic mass, it will be 1 plus 1, that is 2. So if we want to find the ratio of a hydrogen to that of the oxygen, it will be 2:16. Okay, 16 is the atomic mass of that of the oxygen. Okay, hydrogen 1, oxygen is 16, 2:16, or we can write it as a 1:8. So by this we come to this conclusion that the water always form always the hydrogen and oxygen in water molecule, they combine together in 1:8 proportion by mass. Okay, similarly you can take an example of any of the thing. Every time you will see whether it will be a that of a NaCl, or it will be that of a calcium carbonate or methane. You can see an example of a methane here. The methane carbon, atomic mass of carbon is 12 here, and that of a hydrogen is 4. Okay, so here it will be 3:1. So every time this carbon, when it combined with that of the hydrogen, it always combined together to form methane at 3:1 proportion by mass. Okay, so compound whenever they react together, they react to form product, and they react chemically to form that of the compound which is having a fixed proportion by mass. Now, compound is also further divided into 3 classes, and that is acid, base and salt. And these acid and base and salt, they are divided with each other on the basis of their property. Like that of the sulfuric acid, S2SO4, is an acid due to the property it shows is of acidic in nature, while another one is NaOH, sodium hydroxide. It shows the property of base, and sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. So sodium sulfate is a salt. So basically it is an acid, this one is a base, and this one is a salt, and these are classified on the basis of their property. Now we will see some of the thing of the compound. Compound can be broken down. When you see compound cannot be broken down by any of the physical mean, by any of the physical method, but it can be broken down with the help of a through that of the chemical changes. Okay, if we change the composition, then absolutely the compound can be broken. Like if suppose you want to break that of the water, H2O, then how can you break this hydrogen and oxygen from each other? So this can be done with the help of an electricity or with the help of an electric arc. Okay, so when we provide an electric arc, this hydrogen will get separated from the oxygen. Okay. Now compounds, it cannot be broken down by that of the physical change. Yes, if a chemical composition is changed, then we can change the compound, but by the help of a physical method we cannot break it. Okay, now see here, there are compounds which we find in the nature, that is protein or nitrogen, or nitrogen compounds like that of the nitrate. Okay, so nitrate is basically produced by the that of the bacteria. Carbon dioxide, so carbon dioxide is released by that of the plant. Okay, here nitrogen compound, it is talking about the nitrate or nitrite. All these things are basically formed by the help of the bacteria in the plant itself. Okay, protein is also the same. There are some of the compound which is prepared in the industry, or which is the result of through the industry, like that of the ammonia. So ammonia is produced in the industry, and the second thing is the aluminium. Okay, so here it is not only aluminium oxide is talking about that, or the aluminium compounds. Okay, so aluminium compound or ammonia and many more, these are some of the compounds which is the result of the production, or we can say these are the compound which is prepared in the industry. Okay, you see here When a compound is formed, the components which is present in it and the substance which is produced is totally different from each other. We can say when the two components they combine together, they always form a new substance. Like in case of a sodium here. So sodium is a very soft silvery metal which is very reactive. That's why sodium is kept in the kerosene, because if we keep it outside, then what happen? It will react violently, as well as with the water also it react violently. So it is a very reactive metal. Okay, as well as very soft. It means it can be cut through knife itself. Chlorine gas is a very poisonous and a greenish yellowish gas. You know the chlorine is used for the bleaching purpose also. That's why we use in the purification of water. But when we mix these two these two metal and non-metal, sodium and that of the chlorine, then there is a formation of a sodium chloride. And you know sodium chloride is a base. It is a table salt. Okay, so it is perfectly safe and it is also an edible compound. So you see here these two are a very reactive elements, but whenever these two react to form a new compound, then this compound is safe and edible also. Not only this, you can take an example of water, hydrogen, that of the oxygen. Both are in the gaseous state. When they combine together, then they form a liquid state, which is very or important for the survival of the living organism, and that is water. Okay, so two or more elements they combine together to form a new substance, or they chemically they combine together and form a chemically different compound, chemically different substance, and that is compound which is having its own property. Now we will try to study the property of a compound with the help of sulfur powder and that of the iron filling. This same process we had done with the mixture also, in which we had taken the iron filling and sulfur powder, and by doing the some experiment on it, we comes to know the properties of the mixture. So here we will study the property of the mixture, property of the compound, sorry, with the help of the same two component, and that is iron filling and sulfur powder. So you see here earlier in the mixture what we were doing, we were simply taking the iron filling and that of the sulfur powder, and we mix it simply. Okay, and then we do some of the process by which we see the properties. Here we will take the sulfur powder and that of the iron filling and mix it together, and after mixing the iron filling and sulfur, we will heat this mixture with the help of a burner, and that by keeping it in the china dish. When you heat this mixture of iron and that of the sulfur together, then we find a black compound. A black compound is formed. Okay, and this black compound is known as iron sulfide. It is De, sulfide. Iron sulfide, the formula of the iron sulfide is FeS. Okay, so black compound which is known as the iron sulfide is formed. Now we will take this black compound, this iron sulfide, and perform some of the process or some of the experiment by which we will see the property of the compound, as well as we will try to find the difference between the property of this with that of the mixture also. Okay, now what we will do, okay, this is the iron sulfide. Now when you take this iron sulfide and keep it aside from that of the burner. Afterward, when you take a bar magnet or a magnet near to that of the iron sulfide compound, then you will notice the iron which is present in the iron sulfide, it does not get separated from that of the sulfur. It means, I mean saying that the iron which is present in the sulfur, it does not get attracted towards that of the magnet, as the property of the iron is like that. But after heating, you will see this iron which becomes the iron sulfide, it does not get attracted towards that of the magnet. Okay, you will see that not only that of the bar magnet, but when you dissolve, when you take the carbon disulfide solvent and add this iron sulfide into this carbon disulfide solvent, even then also you will find that with the help of this process also you cannot separate the iron, or you cannot separate the sulfur from the iron sulfide compound. So earlier in the mixture, we see that this when we mix that of the iron filling with the sulfur, and we brought that of the bar magnet near to the mixture, then we find the iron filling will get attracted towards the bar magnet. So by this we come to the conclusion that a compound, it cannot be separated into its component by any of the physical method, like that was in the mixture, where we, with the help of the magnetic separation or with the help of a evaporation, we can separate the iron sulfur from each other. But here any of the physical method cannot be applied to separate the components which is present in the compound. Okay, so this is the first property of the compound. The second property of the compound, you see here that when we add with this iron filling, with the same of the this ferrous sulfide or iron sulfide, if suppose we add this iron sulfide into dilute sulfuric acid, by adding dilute sulfuric acid to that of the ferrous sulfate, or to that of the iron sulfide, to that of the iron sulfide compound, then we find that this iron sulfide, when it react with that of the iron, or after reaction, it will form a foul smelling gas, and that gas is hydrogen sulfide. Okay, so instead of releasing hydrogen gas like as that of the mixture, in which when the iron and the sulfur mixture react with the dilute sulfuric acid, then iron react with it forming hydrogen gas, which shows the property of the iron. But here you see, when the iron sulfide compound is mixed with the dilute sulfuric acid, here the iron does not show the property of its. Instead of releasing the hydrogen gas, it releases a foul smelling gas, or a gas which is having the smell of a rotten egg. That is the hydrogen sulfide, which is represented by H2S. Okay. Even if you see the other property of a one, that is a sulfur. So if suppose you add this same iron sulfide into carbon disulfide solvent, even then also you find that it does not, the sulfur does not get dissolved with the carbon disulfide. Instead, it remain undissolved and present at the bottom of this test tube. So this shows that this iron sulfide, which consisting of the sulfur also does not show its property. So what was the property? That when we mix that of the iron and sulfur mixture, the sulfur, it get dissolved in the carbon disulfide, but here it does not dissolve, so it is not showing its property. So in both of the cases, you see that whether it is iron or that of the sulfur, both of them do not show their individual property. Okay, so we can say that the iron sulfide compound, it does not show the property of the constituent or does not show the individual property of the component of it. Okay, so by this we come to the conclusion that the property of the compound are entirely different from those of the component or from those of the constituent element from which it is made up of. Okay, so that is the second property of a compound. Now when we go to the third property of this iron sulfide, then you see here this iron sulfide, it is prepared by heating together, by heating that of the iron filling and that of the sulfur together. So once the reaction start, you see a lot of heat and energy is produced during the preparation of this compound. So we can say here, while the preparing of this iron and sulfide, or while giving the heat, you see here a lot of heat is we are providing a heat here. So we are giving energy to it, to this, so that this reaction between that of the iron and sulfur can take place. So by this we come to know that that compound here is a energy is usually used or energy is given out, or we can say the heat energy or the energy is absorbed or it is evolved during the preparation of a compound. Okay, so compound involves the evolution of energy or absorption of energy. This is the third property of a compound. Now when we will come to the fourth point, then you will see that this iron sulfide, now this iron sulfide, it when you try to melt this iron sulfide, then you find that this iron sulfide FeS, it is actually having a fixed temperature at which it melts. Earlier in a mixture, we find that the mixture of a iron filling and a sulfur, when you try to heat it, the iron it melt at another temperature and sulfur melt at another temperature. But here in this compound, iron sulfide compound, it melt is this compound, this total compound, it melt at a fixed temperature. By this we come to the conclusion that that compound, they are having a fixed melting point and boiling point. Okay, now the another point of iron sulfide, then you see here the iron sulfide is prepared by heating two of the component, that is the iron and that is of the sulfur. So while heating together here, this iron is made up of, this iron sulfide is made up of 7 part by mass of iron, 7 part by mass of iron and 4 part by mass of sulfur together. Okay, so how we'll come to know about the 7 or 4? Here it occurs actually like that. Atomic mass of that of the iron is 56. Okay, 56 gram, and that of the sulfur is 32. Okay, so if suppose we take a ratio of this iron to that of the sulfur, then we come to know that iron to that of the sulfur. So iron, the atomic mass is 56 and that of the sulfur atomic mass is 32. So this will be can also be written as 7:4. So 7 part by mass of iron and 4 part by mass of sulfur is used to make the iron sulfide compound. So what happen if suppose you take a more part, if suppose we take a more amount of a iron or more amount of a sulfur, So if we take a more amount of a sulfur or iron, the excess part, except that of the 7 part of a iron and 4 part of a sulfur, the excess part of the iron and the sulfur, they remain unreacted. It means they will not react with each other. So thus we can say that this iron sulfide compound, it is always made up of a same element like that of the iron and sulfur, and these elements, they always combine together in a fixed proportion by mass. Okay, so here the mass of that of the iron, it means the 7, and that of the 4 part of the by mass of the sulfur, it is fixed. So whenever the iron sulfide is made, iron is always having the 7 part by mass, and the sulfur, it will be 4 part by mass. Then they react together to form iron sulfide. So we come to the conclusion of the 5th point also, that is the composition of the compound, the component by which a compound is formed is fixed. Okay, and the constituent which is present in that of the compound, it is also fixed proportion by mass. Okay, and that's why these compounds are having a fixed formula also. Okay, so the constituent, it is having a fixed, they react with each other, they combine with each other by fixed proportion by mass. That's why they are having a definite formula. Okay, now the last point of this property of the iron sulfide. So if you see this iron sulfide together, if you see this iron sulfide compound with the help of a magnifying glass, then you will find that there is no separate particle of a iron and a sulfur. Remember when we were seeing that of the mixture of a iron and a sulfur, which were mixed randomly without any proportion, without any fixed proportion. So when you see it, then you will find that some amount of iron was there, at a place it is more, at a place it was less. But here when we see the iron sulfide compound with the help of a magnifying glass, there will be no separate particle of iron or the sulfur. Okay, it will be same throughout that of the throughout its mass. It means it is having a uniform composition. So by this we can say that this iron sulfide is a homogeneous substance. Or we'll come to the last point, last property of the compound, that is compound is a homogeneous substance. Okay. So by this we can conclude the properties of the compound. So the first property is the compound cannot be separated by physical method. So compound cannot be separated by any of the physical means, either by using magnetic separation or evaporation or sublimation or distillation. Okay. The second property is that the properties, these are entirely different from those of its constituent. So the component from which this compound is formed, the properties of the constituent is different from that of the property of the compound which is formed. So we can say that it is a kind of a chemical change, not that of a physical change. Then here the energy either be evolved or absorbed. So there is a need of energy. So energy can either be given to it or energy can either be absorbed during the preparation of the compound. Then the next one is the composition of the compound are fixed. Composition of a compound are fixed. The composition, it means here the constituent which is present in this compound, they always combine together to form a compound by a fixed proportion by mass. Okay, so they always combine together by fixed proportion by mass. So the composition is fixed. And since the composition is fixed, so we can say the melting and boiling point, or these both of the component which form compound. So the compound always melt always boil at a fixed temperature, thus it is having a fixed melting and the boiling point. Then homogeneous, since you, if with help of a magnifying glass, if you see, then even then also you will find that the composition, it is having a uniform composition. So it is not able, we are not able to distinguish, or they are not partially separated from each other like that. It means the components are uniformly present in it. So that kind of a substance, it thus it make it a homogeneous substance. Now we will come to the difference between that of the mixture to that of the compound. So if you see the mixture versus compound, the first property of that of a compound is on the basis of the definition. So the definition of a compound is, it is formed by chemical combination of an atom of the elements. Okay, so here two or more element, they combine together by a fixed proportion by mass with each other to form a new substance, and that is a compound. When we talk about the mixture, so mixture is formed by simply mixing up. Here the atom or the mass, here there is no fixed proportion by which it is mixed together. So two or more elements, they are simply mixed together. That kind of a substance is known as a mixture. Okay, so here the basic difference between these two, that one is mixed by a fixed proportion, but the other one is simply mixed together with each other. Now if you see the second property of the mixture versus compound, so in compound the element lose their original property and form new substance which are entirely different from them. So in compound, basically the components, when they combine together, the two or more elements, when they combine together to form compound, then they lose their own property. Then they lose their individual properties, and they mixes up together to form a new substance, and that new substance does not shows its previous property, or does not shows the individual property of its constituent. So this kind of a change is also known as a chemical change, in which a new substance is formed. So in compound also, it loses the original property and a new substance is formed, which is having its own property which differs from its previous properties. But here in case of a mixture, the property of each of the constituent will remain the same. As we had discussed in the iron and the sulfur also, that iron show its property and sulfur also show its own property, even then they are mixed together with each other. So in a mixture, the components which is present in the formation of the mixture, after mixing together also, they show their individual property. Then the third one is the composition. The compound, they always have a fixed composition by mass. So the compound, whenever they mix together, you see they always mix together in a fixed proportion by mass. Okay, so if suppose we are talking about that of the FES, it always in the ratio of a 7:4. Like that of the water also, it always combine in a fixed proportion, or carbon dioxide. These all are a compound just because the carbon and the oxygen, or the hydrogen and the oxygen, they always combine with each other in a fixed proportion by mass. If we see the water is 1:8. So 1 part of the hydrogen and 8 part of that of oxygen is by mass, they combine together to form a water. So they are having a fixed composition by mass. But mixture, it do not have a fixed composition. We randomly take that two of the component and mixes together without seeing the fixed, without seeing the composition by mass itself. No? We will take it simply and randomly mixes it together. So it is having a fixed composition by mass, but here it do not have a fixed composition. Then the next one is joined or not. The component cannot be separated by physical mean. Here, after the formation of a compound, we cannot separate the component of the compound by any physical mean, like that of a distillation or like of a filtration or a sublimation or evaporation or a magnetic separation. Okay, but here the component can be separated by a physical method. So in case of a mixture, the components which is present in the mixture, it can be separated by any of the physical method, like that of evaporation or magnetic separation. So these things which we can use to separate in case of a mixture, but not in a compound. Melting point, you see, since here the composition is fixed and a new substance is formed, so that new substance is having a fixed temperature at which it melts or at which it boils also, and that's why these compounds, they are having a fixed melting point. Okay, fixed melting point as well as fixed boiling point too. But in case of a mixture, since the component, they show their own properties, in a mixture the constituent, they are having their own properties, individual properties, and by this you can understand that if we provide the temperature, both of the component will melt at a different temperature. So we can say that the mixture do not have a fixed melting and boiling point. Okay. So these are the some of the properties on which mixture and compounds are differ from each other. In exam, most of the time this difference between the mixture and compound is asked, so that's why it is very important to learn. Okay.